video is on FAQs on ITR 3. Form ITR 3 can be used to file income tax return by an individual or a Hindu undivided family who is having income under any head including profits or gains of business or profession and who is not eligible to file Form ITR 1, ITR 2 or ITR 4. Before moving to the frequently asked questions, let us see some of the key changes in ITR 3 as compared to assessment year 22-23. Please note that with effect from assessment year 23-24, ITR 3 return can be filed in response to notice under section 153C also. So section 153C has been added in part A general information section to form ITR 3. In the general information section, a new field related to FII FPI has also been added with a question whether you are an FII FPI. If you select yes as an answer, you are required to provide the SEBI registration number. Further, as per Finance Act 2022, a new section 115BBH has been inserted in the Act to provide that where the total income of an assessee includes any income from transfer of any virtual digital assets, income tax payable on such income shall be as per the prescribed rates. Section 115BBH changes have been incorporated in Schedule BP, Schedule CG and Schedule SI, and a new schedule, Schedule VDA, has also been inserted. Also in Schedule 80G in Table D, donations entitled for 50% deduction subject to qualifying limit, a field has been inserted to capture the details of ARN of donation reference number from Form 10BE. Schedule 80IB, deduction in respect of industrial undertaking located in Jammu and Kashmir or Ladakh, has been removed due to the sunset clause. Section 80CCH deduction has been added in Chapter 6A for providing deduction for contribution made to Agnipath Scheme 2022, and Schedule TCS has been updated to claim TCS of any other person. Let us now see the statutory forms applicable for ITR 3. If you are a proprietorship or a partnership firm carrying on business or profession and are required to get your accounts audited as per the provisions of Section 44AB of the Income Tax Act, you are required to file Form 3CB CD if you are not required to get your accounts audited under any other law. The due date to furnish Form 3CB 3CD is on or before 30th September of the relevant assessment year unless otherwise extended. Taxpayers who are reporting income under the head profits and gains of business or profession and choosing the new tax regime are required to file Form 10IE if they wish to report their income under the new tax regime. After submitting Form 10IE, a 15-digit acknowledgement number is generated. You cannot proceed to file ITR 3 in the new tax regime without mentioning this 15-digit acknowledgement number. Please note, individuals and HUFs with business income are required to file Form 10IE on or before the due date of filing income tax return to choose the new tax regime. Moving to Form 10DA. 10DA is a mandatory form to be filed for claiming deduction under Section 80JJAA. Section 80JJAA of the Income Tax Act deals with deductions on profits and gains of business or profession. This section allows deduction of 30% on additional employee costs for the 3 consecutive assessment years. The due date to furnish Form 10DA is before the due date of filing income tax return. The taxpayers to whom AMT provisions are applicable are required to obtain a report from a chartered accountant in Form 29C certifying that adjusted total income and AMT have been computed as per the provisions of Income Tax Act. The due date to furnish Form 29C is on or before the due date for filing income tax return. Now let us see the prerequisites for filing ITR 3. In order to file ITR 3, you should be a registered user on the e-filing portal with an active PAN. You must pre-validate a bank account and nominate it for refund. To know more, you may refer to a video on my bank account. You should have a valid digital signature certificate or a valid mobile number linked either with e-filing portal or with your Aadhaar, your bank account or your depository for e-verification. To know more, you may refer to video on how to e-verify. You must also file applicable statutory forms as discussed before filing your income tax return. Form ITR 3 can be filed both in the online mode as well as using the offline utility. Let us now move to the FAQs and the grievances and the resolutions on ITR 3. While claiming exemption in ITR 3, If you are getting an error that exemption under section 10 subsection 10 for gratuity shall not exceed income offered under the head salary under subhead gratuity receipt and cannot exceed rupees 20 lakhs, please ensure that the breakup of gratuity income is added under scheduled salary after adding the gratuity drop down under salary chargeable under section 17 subsection 1. You shall then be able to claim the gratuity allowance in the exemption section, and you can now file your return using the latest offline utility or through the online mode. While claiming brought forward losses, if you're getting an error that in Schedule CG Table F serial number 1, the breakup of all the quarters is not equal to the value from item 3.3 of Schedule BFLA, please add the breakup of capital gains income under Table F in Schedule CG, which should match with the net income remaining under serial number 5 of Schedule BFLA, and then retry filing the income tax return. If while claiming the exemption of leave travel allowance you're getting an error, kindly restrict the exemption under section 10.5 to leave travel allowance under salary as per section 17.1. Please remember to add the breakup of leave encashment after adding LTA drop down under salary chargeable under section 17 subsection 1 under scheduled salary, and then claim the LTA allowance. While claiming deduction under schedule 6A, deduction under section 80U for self with severe disability, if you are getting an error that it cannot exceed the maximum limit of rupees 1,25,000, you're advised that if you're resuming from the old draft file, then kindly delete 80U entry under schedule 6A, then retry filing or else continue filing in the online mode. If you are getting an error that income details for selected business code under section 44AD should be entered, please remember to save the data after adding the business income details under schedule BP and then confirm the schedule and retry filing your income tax return. If the error is corresponding income offered, gross amount and head of income is to be filled since TDS is claimed in schedule TDS, details of TDS income, as per 16A furnished by the deductor. If such an error arises, you are required to provide the details of gross amount and head of income under schedule TDS and then retry filing your income tax return. At times you may get an error that TDS brought forward and income and TDS under the heading deducted in the hands of any other person as per Rule 37BA2 should be provided in different rows. This is a valid error. Taxpayers are advised to enter the TDS details for the financial year 22-23 and TDS brought forward from the previous year separately in TDS2 under schedule taxes paid. If you are getting the error, new tax regime under section 115 BAC cannot be opted without furnishing form 10IE or the details provided in ITR is incorrect or other errors related to opting to new tax regime, please remember to file form 10IE for assessment year 23-24 in case you are opting for the new tax regime, and select opt-in now option in the return under schedule part A general information and provide form 10IE date of filing and acknowledgement number, and then retry filing your income tax return. In case you had already filed form 10IE in the previous year, you can click on continue to opt option and provide the details of form 10IE in the income tax return. However, in case you had already filed form 10IE in the previous year but thereafter filed another form 10IE with the withdraw option during the year, then you are required to provide the previous year form 10IE details and then select opt out now to continue filing your income tax return. If you had already filed form 10IE in the previous year and then opted out also in the previous year, you are required to provide previous year form 10IE details and select not eligible to opt during the year to file your income tax return. Let us now move to some of the best practices for filing ITR 3. If you want to claim deduction and avoid adjustment under section 80IA, 80IB, 80IC, 80IE, 80IAC or 80IAB, please remember to file form 10CCB within the time allowed to claim deduction. The amount of deduction claimed in return should not be more than the deduction mentioned in the form against corresponding section and to the extent of income available in schedule BP after brought forward loss adjustment. Any difference may result in adjustment through restriction of claim in corresponding section. If you want to claim deduction under section 80JJAA and avoid adjustment under that section, please remember to file form 10DA within the time allowed to claim deduction. The amount of deduction claimed in return should not be more than the deduction mentioned in the form. Any difference in the two may result in adjustment through restriction of the claim in that section. If you want to claim Part C deductions and deduction under Section 10AA, you are required to file the return within due date or the extended due date as per Section 139 subsection 1 to claim Part C deductions or deductions under Section 10AA. However, this restriction is not applicable for claiming deduction under Section 80JJAA. Please remember that the profit mentioned in Form 29C should be reflected in Schedule AMT in the return of income. If the amount of profit and other figures mentioned in the return of income does not match with the amount of profit and other figures mentioned in 29C, it could lead to a difficulty in your return. Also, please remember that the income chargeable to tax at special rates need to be shown both in the relevant income schedule as well as in Part B TI. If the return for the previous year was filed after due date, then the brought forward loss cannot be carried forward to the next year. Hence, the same would not be allowed to be adjusted in the current year also. However, even if the last year return was a belated return, you can continue to claim the loss of house property, unabsorbed depreciation, and allowance under Section 35, subsection 4. The best practice to disclose dividend income under Section 222E would be to disclose it in Clause 36A of Form 3CD. Further, the same also needs to be offered in Schedule OS of ITR at appropriate places. Please also remember to provide quarterly breakup of capital gains in Schedule CG. This has to be entered on the basis of applicable tax rate. Further, the same should match with the applicable rate-wise capital gain income remaining after set-off in column 5 of Schedule BFLA. Filing of ITR 3 is very easy. To know more, you may visit our website or contact our help desk numbers.